And these dashboards could be different for different stakeholders in ALM. Like for Mary, this is the dashboard. For tester, it could be different. For developer, it could be different. Or for the QA manager, it could be different. Now let's explain the header bar here. So you see the projects, requirements, test cases, issues. So these are the different entities defined for this workspace, and Mary has access to all these different entities. You can see a clear case file entity, which is a proxy entity to an external tool. So as Sky mentioned, that our tool can also be integrated using our Omnibus framework with several external tools like SCM tools, ClearCase, Perforce, CVS, and all these things. And also IDEs like Visual Studio and Eclipse. So all these the external tools shows up here as proxy entities. And I can see the task. The task is a built-in object in Kovair, which basically represents the unit of work that any developer, project manager, or tester can work on any of these entities. So at a time, multiple people can work and have different tasks on these different entities. One other thing is here you can see the different workspaces. So workspace is a single secure box for different kind of applications that you can define. So here we are, for today's demo, we are using the new app development workspace. Now let's get to the My Task page for Mary, which is basically a task, universal task inbox for Mary, and she gets to see all the tasks that are assigned to her from different workspaces. So you can see some of the tasks are coming from the workspace new app development, some are coming from AMS legacy, and different other projects. Okay, so now let's look into the first item in this list, which is the customer requirement from portal for ALM Studio webinar review and link. So this task has been generated for Mary automatically, and it is in her inbox. So let's get to this task. So now, so this is the task detail page. You can see this is for this particular requirement that we just submitted. Source item is requirement, customer requirement from portal for ALM Studio webinar. What is the activity that Mary needs to do is the review and link. And these are the owners. You can see Otanu and Mary and Sky. And this is queued. So any one of these project manager can own this task and do his or her part of the job and complete the task. Okay. And also you can see the instruction here, what Mary is supposed to do. So Mary is supposed to please associate a project and functional requirements to this customer requirement. So she needs to basically decide whether she wants to approve this particular requirement, and also if she decides on that, then she needs to create the functional requirement to implement this customer requirement and link it to this particular customer requirements. Okay, so let's say for this, Mary needs to basically create a functional requirements Word document, and then she needs to import that into Kovair. So for that activity, let's log on to a separate server. Okay, so this is the document that, let's say, Mary prepared, and you can see this is the document, and there is a table of contents. These are the different requirements with rich graphics and text for different requirements. Okay, so now let's say we want to basically import these into Kovair. So Kovair has a kind of add-in built on top of Word. As you can see, Kovair menu is shown here. So if I click on that and start the wizard, now I have to log on. By the way, this add-on also using a web service URL, so you should be able to basically use this Word add-in from anywhere, even outside the firewall. Okay, so let's log in as Mary. So, so now remember that we have shown the different workspaces that Mary has access to. So we need to select that workspace here. So let's select new app development, and then it opens up the wizard. So we have already selected the workspace as new app development, and I can kind of import from for any entity. For now, we will do it for requirement, and let's get to the next page. So this is basically where you define the parse logic. So you can either parse for the title or the description. We have chosen to parse for the title, and then the parse formula could be either using the keyword like shall, it get me all the kind of text, using different kind of keywords like shall and others, treating them as requirements, or we can choose the delimiter like start and end, or you can choose a style. For now, we will choose a style, and we will select TOC1, and then we add that as a parsing logic. In fact, you can have several parsing logic, not just the style based. You can simultaneously have kind of define one based on keyword, one other based on delimiter, another based on style. Now also, you can also even kind of get the hierarchy, which is kind of defined within your Word document here. So that's why I selected this maintain hierarchy, and then let's move to the next step. So now these are the different fields that I can choose to pre-populate. So let's say for now I choose priority, priority flags, requirement status, type, request type, and source. Okay. Now let's get to the next, and I can set some default values for these. Let's say for priority I choose high, for priority flags I choose green, and then the requirement type I'll choose that as functional requirements, and let's leave all the others as it is. Now let's get to the next page. So now what it is doing is based on the parsing logic that you have selected, it is parsing the document and finding out the requirements. So it has already done. Now let's move to the next step, and it is now showing all the kind of requirements that have been parsed, and showing it in a grid view with the different field values. If you want to change the field value for certain particular requirements, you can do that. You can even see the requirement for, so let's say this is one particular requirement which has been parsed with the images and stuff. Okay, so let's now close this, and now what we want to do is now get these requirements into Kovair. So let's get to the next step. And so what it is doing now is now getting these records imported to Kovair. So this is done for now. So let's finish this. So Mary is now done with importing all the functional requirements into Kovair. Now let's go back to Kovair now. So see that we opened up this task which Mary is supposed to do, and the instruction was to associate a project and functional requirements. So now let's kind of associate some functional requirements. Okay, so let's go to relate existing. Okay, and let's filter by all functional requirements. Okay, so now remember Sky was mentioning about the document view. So this is the document view, and you can see, so these are the requirements we just imported from Word, and it shows up. And also you can see the images along with the text and font and all these things are imported within Kovair. Okay, so now for let me kind of get it here. Okay, and let's select some of the requirements. So let's say this one and the next one. Let maybe choose another one. Okay, now we have selected some of the functional requirements, and